Hello my friends and welcome, my name is Dennis and this is the latest update on Ukraine. Today let's speak about the possible future advancements of Ukrainian army, or it's better to say counterattacks. By looking on this military map, I can state that Ukraine already did a great job freeing its territory. The north part, together with Kiev region, was freed during the springtime. On September, it was a spectacular move from Ukrainian army, freeing Kharkiv and a small part of Lugansk regions. And the last achievement of Ukrainian army is taking back part of the Kherson region together with the Kherson city, the largest city that Russia was able to occupy during this war. But now it belongs to Ukraine again. And here you can see the main strategy of the Ukrainian command. We do everything step by step. First, this area was freed, second, that area was freed, and third, Kherson region. It means that the next counterattack of Ukrainian army will be just concentrated on some specific point on the front lines, but the place should be just one. And before we go to that point and discuss with you the perspectives of Ukrainian army as well as the Russian one, let me introduce you the sponsor of today's video. The sponsor of this video, yes, the Atlas VPN. They still have amazing proposal for the Christmas deal where you can get the Atlas VPN Premium for just $170 per month with 6 months for free and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Totally you'll have 85% of discount, so that deal is fantastic as for the VPN of that class. And my friends, Atlas VPN is the best VPN out there. Let me tell you why. You may hear that I'm not the native English speaker, and what helps me to improve my English? Honestly, watching the live shows on Netflix. My favorite series to study is Friends, but it's not available in my country, but then I turn on the Atlas VPN. Well, it is now available for me. I also rent my current house with a great discount using Atlas VPN. For example, Booking doesn't have the fixed price and it may vary depends on your country. So by changing your virtual location, you may find the best price. Atlas VPN encrypts your data so it's out of reach by the government, annoying ads or hackers. And yes, believe me, your personal account may be vulnerable, especially when you use the public Wi-Fi. Atlas VPN has the breach monitoring service that helps to prevent the hacking of your devices, so then I see the warning message, I disconnect from the public Wi-Fi. Atlas VPN helps me to access services and websites which are blocked in my country. I know why, but Patreon is one of them. My friends, hurry up, the Christmas deal is almost over, but you still have the chance to get the Atlas VPN Premium for just $170 per month with 6 months for free with a 30-day money-back guarantee with 85% of discount. That's awesome out of awesome. So click my personal link in the video description and join the club. And now guys, let me show you the areas of Ukrainian counterattacks. First of all, it could be in Kherson region just across the Dnieper River. The next one could be Ukrainian advancement on Melitopol, and the third one to Mariupol. Also, Ukrainian army may advance on Donetsk direction from Bakhmut or something. And finally, Luhansk area, and there is the small part of the Kharkiv region still occupied by the Russian occupiers. And we are going to discuss all of those directions, but spoiler, I think just 2 of the directions have some sort of the perspectives for Ukrainian army. Here and here and here will have severe losses. So I guess we're gonna assault on the north part of that region, and also there are some of the perspectives to go on Melitopol. Let's go and discuss everything. This is the Kherson region, and you can see the Dnieper River that is kind of wide at some of the places, and it divides the region into 2 sides. Or it's better to say parts. The Kherson city is here. It was taken by Ukraine few months ago. It was the great victory of Ukrainian army. However, the further assault from the Kherson direction is very risky for Ukrainian army and it may lose this operation. The first problem is that we need to move lots of the forces across the very wide river, and all of the bridges were destroyed and damaged by Ukrainian forces and by Russians. Yes, Ukraine may still reach the territories with the artillery systems, but they will not cover all of that soldiers that required for the massive counterattack. Plus, as you can see, Russia left quite a lot of battalions near to the Dnieper River to protect the area just in case. To go across the wide Dnieper River is the same operation as to land somewhere with lots of the forces, and also Ukraine is in lack of the engineering equipment to build the pontoon bridges across that big river. And Russia may fire back with their artillery, which they do on a regular basis. They fire the shells on Kherson city, killing civilians. So if Ukraine decides to build some sort of the DIY bridges, pontoon bridges, those would be destroyed in the very beginning during the building process. The other not good thing here that Russia may not only use their artillery but also aviation, because Crimean airfields are very close and they also may use attack helicopters. Obviously, they have severe losses in airplanes and helicopters, but still, it's the mighty power compared to Ukrainian air forces. And the flat terrain and absence of any kind of woods in the region will help Russia to identify our motorized brigades. Ukraine, however, already tried to reach the other shore of the Dnieper city. We tried to get the Skimbersky part under Ukrainian control unsuccessfully. We tried to land in this territory. Also, nothing went good with that idea, so I think it's the no-go scenario for Ukrainian army to attack over here. At least I would be very surprised if our military command will go and attack from the Kherson city. The good thing here is that we still may use the HIMARS rocket artillery systems, and we may target Russian supply lines, basically on the north side of Crimea. Alright guys, Melitopol is here, the possible ghost scenario for Ukrainian army. I already told you about it, but I just want to mention a couple of the specials in this region and why it's still not the perfect direction for Ukrainian counterattack. Well, first of all, let's speak about the minuses of this counterattack direction. Here is the Melitopol. It's not the minus, it's the beautiful Ukrainian city that Russia took almost with no fighting. And it's the big disgrace and I would say betrayed from the Ukrainian generals who were responsible for the south part of Ukraine. And here we have the biggest disadvantage in that area, this water reservoir that comes from the Dnieper River. So we have the hydroelectrical power plant in the area of Zaporizhia and here in Novakhovka on the southwest part. And that creates this huge lake that I call the water reservoir because it is basically for the nuclear power plant, which is the next minus. Over here we have Energodar with nuclear power plant that still is controlled by the Russian Federation. So why this lake is not good? Basically, it creates the natural obstacle for Ukrainian army. To attack Russians on this territory, firstly we need to go all across the lake over here, and our forces would be very vulnerable because there is the natural obstacles and Russia can counterattack over here and just jam our army. And that is why just two of the possible Ukrainian points of the counterattack are remaining in this territory. The same point but to the south and also from Orikhiv across Tokmak to Melitopol. And again you can see minuses here because Tokmak is kind of big town and it's well protected by Russians and you have to take it first before going to Melitopol. The second big minus with that scenario that Russia may also counterattack from Energodar direction, crossing our army and cause severe losses. Also, Russia reinforced the Melitopol city and put more defense lines. Russian forces may also try to attack from Berdansk direction, but there are not enough forces in that region and they have to keep them to protect the Berdansk and the airfield over there. Also, it's their supply port just in case, and they need to be careful about this one. So I don't think that they will attack from this direction, but from the northwest side, it's possible. Also, they have constant supplies from Crimea to reinforce the group in Melitopol. So those were the minuses. Now let's go to pros. Here you can see it's a lake over here. It's bordering with the Black Sea, and also it's very close to Melitopol. If Ukrainian army gets Melitopol under control, we may cut this entire territory for Russia, dividing the Russian army into two groups. And by taking Tokmak and Melitopol, we also cut supplies for Russia. Those are the main hotspots that they use to supply their army, and in that case Russia would need to use the Berdansk port more actively. As I mentioned to you, we also have the nuclear power plant that is controlled by the Russian forces, and they may perform some sort of the provocations there if Ukrainian counterattack would start on this direction. So I am almost sure about it. That is why the International Atomic Agency now is looking to demilitarize the area around the nuclear power plant. Yes, if you take Melitopol, it's the key to open the road to take Crimea in the future, but still there are many risks with that counterattack. I bet Ukrainian command may try to use it. My friends, this is the Mariupol city that was completely destroyed by the Russian Federation during first 3 or up to 4 months of the war. Ukraine may start the counterattack from Vuhledar and also from Hulai Pole, but we have the strong defense lines over there for Ukrainian army, and Russia still tries to penetrate them to go to the north side. The counterattack direction, as you can see, still is very limited. Ukrainian army simply cannot go to the self-proclaimed DPR Republic to attack from that direction, because Russians were able to build the defense lines all across the DPR to protect its territory, and also they have the supply lines that are going to Mariupol from that direction, from Rostov-on-Don, and also they may send the reinforcements from the DPR to that city. And without taking Melitopol, they may throw new supplies to Mariupol, and they may also use the Berdansk port as supply hub for their army. So basically lots of the supply lines, it's very hard to hit them and cut them from the Russian army, and that is why I would say that it's no-go scenario for the Ukrainian army as the possible counterattack point. Alright, the Donetsk region and Donbass. Here is the Donetsk city, the biggest city in this area, and it's very close, as you can see, to the front lines. But it's still very hard reachable by Ukrainian army, first of all because of the defense lines, and it's better to avoid the urban fighting in the big cities. So the possible strategy from Ukrainian army would be to bypass the city and encircle it, cutting supply lines. But the biggest problem in that area that Russia concentrated most part of their army in that region. They also were able to build the defense lines all across the self-proclaimed republics. Plus, there are many villages, towns and cities in that area. And if you are on counterattack and you want to achieve result very fast, you need to avoid the urban fighting. It's not possible in that area. Even though Ukraine has some sort of the small counterattacks in Bakhmut, throwing the Wagner group away from the residential areas, still it's nothing compared to the big offensive strategic operation. So for this place, obviously no go. And finally, I think this one could be the most profitable direction for the Ukrainian next counterattack, especially then we had a huge success in the Kharkiv region, which is bordering to Luhansk, and the small part of the Luhansk region. So the key cities for us would be Svatove, Svatohirsk and Troitsk on the north over there, and we may use this area to start the counterattack on Luhansk itself. So we may take this road and go to the south, and the Luhansk city is very close to that place, and it's not that protected as Donetsk from the north part. However, Russia started to build their Wagner line, as they say, all across this territory from Lysychansk. The good thing here is that this north part of the Luhansk area is not populated. There are not many cities or towns, but still there are some key cities, and if Ukrainian army will take, for example, Starobilsk or maybe Troitsk on the top, we basically cut Russian supplies to that territory. They may still have some sort of the supplies from this part, but it's not as effective as using the railroad that they use right now to supply their forces in Luhansk. The minus here is that Russia uses the time to prepare for the possible counterattack, and they were able to build a big defense line near to Svatova, and also they start to build defense line near to Starobilsk. However, counting all of the minuses and pluses in all of the regions of the front lines, I would say this area could be number one, but only for my personal choice, my friends. Still, I'm in lack of the information that our military command obviously has, and they're up to decide where and then and with what forces to counterattack. But for sure, there's gonna be more counterattacks in 2023, and you'll be very surprised with those results. As for the latest news and events, there were no significant changes on the front lines, but we have some of the information coming basically from Russia. We have our intelligence service working, and now Ukrainian officials officially say that Russia is getting ready to announce a massive mobilization inside the Russian Federation. That should be announced at the beginning of the January. Our intelligence director told about it, and our defense minister also told about it. But honestly, I was expecting that, and Russia simply has no other choice than mobilize their soldiers, or basically men, give them weaponry to fight in Ukraine. Whether they will be successful on the front lines, I don't think so. And our defense minister said that the same situation should be expected from Belarus. I call it Belarusia. My friends, they put everything, they bet everything on zero, and they're still hoping to win in this war. With the new mobilization announced, for sure this time they will close the borders for the countries like Russia and Belarus, and they will throw more cannon fodder to this war. My friends, the only way for Russians to save their lives is to protest against their regime. But honestly, I did not expect that. What I expect that Ukraine will get more weaponry from the Western allies, and finally we're gonna drive Russians away from Ukraine. My friends, 2023 should be go, no go for Russia or for Ukraine. And I'm sure that Ukraine has extremely more chances to win this war. My friends, I'm gonna keep you updated on situation in Ukraine. Now, if you want to support me, just go to the video description, and there you may find my personal link on Atlas VPN Premium, where you can get the huge discount of 85% for just $170 per month. My friends, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.